I am using n8n since a while for automating SEO tasks, and right now I am focusing on an AI agent that is able to analyze the AI overview as well as my page in order to give me recommendations on how to improve the content to increase the chance of being used as a reference. And to be more specific, I am talking about these AI overviews that you can see in Google. And here on the right side, we also have the references. So let's take a closer look at this example. We have here the query n8n SEO AI agent for the country Germany. And we have also an AI overview because sometimes it's possible that for a query that there's no AI overview at all. Then the optimization does not work because you don't have data. But whenever there's a prompt or a keyword that you're trying to rank for and you know for your search parameters, so based on your language, query, and country, that there is an AI overview, then it makes sense to try to optimize your content to increase the chance of being featured here. Because if you are here, this means usually that you are placed before any paid sections as well as before the organic results. So in case you're targeting a lot of long tail keywords or commercial keywords where you know there's an AI overview, then it definitely makes sense to try to optimize your content for it. So let's start with a quick demo. And as an example, we will use the same query and also the same target country. And the page that I'm going to optimize is this one. So I just have to copy the URL. That means also you can do this optimization with any website. You don't need access to the Google Search Console or something similar. And if we send this prompt to this agent, then it will start to crawl the content of the page as well as analyzing the AI overview. So calling our sub workflows. And if both sub-workflows are executed successfully, then this agent will be able to create a report like this, which includes a title and meta description optimization, followed by a content gap analysis. And in my opinion, the most important section is the section about the specific content enhancement, because it includes copy-paste recommendations for your on-page content. And at the bottom, there's also a key action summary, which gives you the most important information in just a few bullet points. Before we have a look into the configuration, just as a side note, you don't have to recreate this agent because it's included in my collection of all my n8n AI agents that I'm using also for my own workflows. And you can find all of them on my website, mavomatic.com. Then let's start with the configuration, and the two first notes are quite simple. So I'm just using the GPT-4.1 model, and I've also set the sampling temperature to 0 because I want to use this agent for data analysis. And I have made the experience that if you set here a lower value, then the results are better. Then we have a simple memory. So in a production system, you would replace it with Redis, Postgres, or any other memory. And in case you're incorporating this agent in any workflow, then you could also remove this node. But the real magic happens in these two sub-workflows. So let's take a look into the one that is really simple, because the only thing that it does is calling Zerpa, which returns for us the page content. So as an example, here we have the URL, and Zerpa is usually used for getting ZERP results, but they also have an endpoint for scraping content from websites, which is, in my opinion, a really great alternative to Firecrawl because it's not so expensive. And the output here is really simple. We have just the markdown, so the content, and also some information about the page itself, like the title, description, URL, and so forth. And the only thing we need to be able to optimize the content is just the title, description, because we want to be able to recommend better options for it, as well as the content, because otherwise we won't be able to give recommendations on which paragraph should be replaced with which new content. The other tool is a little bit more complex, but in general, also quite easy to understand. And if we have a look into it, then we can see we have a simple HTTP node here. So it's for ZERP API. They have a endpoint for getting ZERP results. So this includes also not only the AI overview, but also data from the organic results, inline videos, and so forth. So in case you want to extend this analysis, then it would be quite easy. Sometimes you don't get in the first request the AI overview, and that is the reason why you have to do a simple check. And in case there is no AI overview, then ZERP API usually provides a page token and a link for the AI overview. So in this example, if we search for the key AI overview, then we can see we have here the page token and also the ZERP API link. So in this case, it was required to do another request. And after that, there's the edit node to just simply get the key value pair for the AI overview, because this agent is only focusing on analyzing the data from the AI generated answer. And after this merge node, I also added here another code node, which is not really necessary, but it helps to pre-process the data beforehand. And based on the type of the AI overview, it also includes different metadata. To be a little bit more specific, let me show you a few examples on how an AI overview can look like. And the SERP API documentation already provides you with not only the AI overview structure, but also with the JSON. That is really useful if you want to pass the data. And here's an example of a typical AI overview, but we have also AI overviews where the text is nested or already pre-formatted with bullet points, headings, and so forth. Or also if there's a product comparison, then it looks different. And this node takes care of analyzing the different kind of AI overviews and also extracting the most important data so that the agent has more context. Apart from that, it also returns always the AI overview itself, so the complete data. And in our example, we saw that, for instance, my page is ranking as the first result or as the first reference that is used for this AI overview. And we can also see it here in the data. So we have Marvomatic, the title, and also the index. And my page is used 6 times as a reference. That is most likely also the reason why it's in the first place, because here we can see only used once, also here once, 3, 3, 5, and then 6. So the more the AI overview is using your page for generating the AI answer, the higher is the chance that you are ranking also here in the top result. And in case there is no AI overview available, then this part would be empty. And we will return an error message so that the agent knows there is no AI overview for this query available. And then it will inform the user that the optimization based on this data is not possible. Because if you don't provide the error message or let the agent know that there is no data available, then it will break or it will start to optimize your content for data that does not exist. So this will be kind of useless. And if we have a look into the system prompt of this agent, then we can see that we have here at the top the role and then followed by the kind of toolkit. So this agent has 2 different tools. The first is to analyze the AI overview, and the other one is to get the content of the article. And the only thing that was quite tricky here is to tell the agent that, for instance, if someone says target country is Germany, then it cannot simply use Germany as a parameter because SERP API expects a 2-letter country code, which would be in this case the letter D and E. But after telling that it should always use the 2-letter ISO codes, it worked quite well. For the other tool, it's really simple because the only parameter is the URL and also some information about the output so that the agent gets the title, meta description, also the content and markdown. And then the second part, it's a kind of strategy to analyze the data from the page as well as from the AI overview in order to create some recommendations for the title, meta description, as well as for the part where we get some real recommendations on how to improve the content with copy and paste examples. In case you have any questions regarding the system prompt or in general the agents, then feel free to add them to the comments. The last thing I want to cover in this video is how you can use this agent in your own workflows. Because in my opinion, having an agent and be able to chat with it is quite nice, but it's not automated. But it's also possible to use this agent in any other workflow where you're creating new content or also optimizing content. And just to give you an example how I will use it in my workflows. So here I have an AI SEO team that is able to get data from my bike data export or real data for a specific page by using BigQuery. It also does some checks for the page speed if the site is indexed, and also a complete SERP analysis, which includes also the competitors. But let's say I want to add this agent to this team here, then it would be quite easy because this agent has no dependencies with any part here. So no dependency with the performance analysis, the page speed check, or with any other agent here. So if you create agents that are not dependent on other workflows or on other words, they only use workflows that are really generic, then it is really simple to convert your AI agent to an AI workflow, because it's much better to use this logic. Give this agent at least 10, 15, or 20 pages. Then it will loop over every page, create a report, and then save it to Google Drive or send it by email, rather than just chatting with it. That's it for the video. Don't forget, in case you want to test it out, feel free to download it. And in case you have questions, just add a comment, and we will hear each other in the next video.